Hello, trainees, students, teachers, and the organizational members of the Brilliant Coaching Center and the Learning Program. I welcome you all. In this video, we will be discussing about the International Mathematics course of Cambridge O-Levels, that is also known as the Dcourse. Briefly, we will discuss about the mathematics course content, the syllabus, examination paper pattern, grades assessment of Cambridge O-Levels Dcourse for the years 2018, 19, and 20. These examinations took place all around the world in June and November. The International Code of Cambridge for O-Levels Mathematics subject is 4024, as you can see, except in Mauritius, that is 4029. This document regarding the syllabus you can download from the official website of Cambridge, and you can see the contents includes introduction, the teacher support, the syllabus, and all the contents descriptively you can see. So why are the Cambridge and O-Levels and etc. You can see on the video all the important points that the Cambridge wants to make you understand about the teacher support and the syllabus. As you can see, the syllabus content at a glance. You can see 42 subjects, topics or themes that are included in the syllabus of Mathematics Dcourse. We will be discussing about all these topics and the chapters in later videos. The assessment includes two papers that are paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1, it consists of 80 marks, which comprises of 25 short questions. In this part, in this paper 1, scientific calculators are not allowed. Paper 2, it includes 11 structured questions. The candidates can use electronic calculators, scientific calculators. For this paper, it includes 100 marks. The time duration for the paper 1 is 2 hours, and for the paper 2, it is 2.5 hours. Further on, in this document, you can see the assessment percentage and weightage, that is assessment objectives, that are AOs, AO1 and AO2 for both the papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Now let us talk about the syllabus content descriptively. The topic, themes, or the chapters, these 42 chapters, it includes, the number 1 is number. It includes the subtopics that are what are the numbers, natural numbers, integers, positive, negative, zeros, also the prime numbers, square numbers, cube numbers, common factors, common multiples, rational numbers, irrational numbers, also the real numbers. The chapter 2, it includes set, languages, and notations, the use of language, notation, and the Venn diagrams to describe set and represents relationship between the different sets. Also, it includes definition of the sets. The chapter 3 includes square, square roots, cube, and cube roots. The subtopic includes calculate the squares, square roots, cubes, and cube roots of different numbers. Chapter number 4. The topic is directed numbers. The subtopic includes use of directed numbers in practical situations. Now, chapter number 5, vulgar and decimal, fractions and percentages. It includes the subtopics that are the use of language and notation of simple vulgar and decimal fractions and percentage in appropriate contexts. Recognize equivalence and convert between these forms. Chapter 6 includes ordering, order quantities by magnitude, and demonstrate familiarity with the symbols. Chapter number 7, the standard form. the use of standard form, whereas n is a positive or negative integer. Chapter number 8, the four operations, the use of operations, calculations with whole numbers, decimals and vulgars and fractions. Chapter number 9, estimations, make estimates of numbers, quantities and lengths. Chapter number 10, limit of accuracy. Subtopic includes give appropriate upper and lower bound for data given to a specified accuracy. Chapter number 11, ratio, proportion and rate. Demonstrate and understand of the ratio and proportion. Increase and decrease a quantity by a given ratio. The use common measure of rate. Solve problem solving involving average speed. Percentages. Chapter number 12 includes percentages. Calculate the given percentage of a quantity. Express one quantity as a percentage of another. Calculate percentage increase or decrease. Carry out calculations involving reverse percentages. Chapter number 13 includes the use of an electronic calculator. The use subtopics includes the use of a calculator efficiently. Apply appropriate checks of accuracy. Enter a range of measuring including time. Interpret the calculator display appropriately. Chapter number 14 includes time. The calculate times in terms of 24 hours and 12 hours clock, read clock, dials and timetables. Chapter number 15 includes money. Solve problems involving money and convert from one currency to another. Chapter number 16 includes personal and small business finance. It includes use of given data to solve problems on personal and small business financing involving earnings. Chapter number 17 includes algebraic representation and formula, used to express generalized numbers and express arithmetic process algebraically. Substitute numbers for words and letter in a formula. Chapter number 18 includes algebraic manipulation that is directed numbers, use of brackets and extract common factors. Expand products of algebraic expressions. Chapter number 19 includes understanding and use of indices, the rules for the use of indices, use and interpret positive, negative, fractional and zero indices. Now chapter number 20 consists of solution of equations and inequalities. Simple linear equations, solve fractional equations with numbers and numerical and linear algebraic denominators. Solve simple linear inequalities. Solve quadratic equations by factorization, completing the square or by use of formula. Solving simultaneous linear equations in two unknowns. Chapter number 21 includes graphical representation of inequalities, represents linear inequalities graphically. Chapter number 22, sequences. It consists of continues a given number of sequence, recognize pattern in sequence, generalize sequence as simple algebraic statements. Chapter number 23, it includes variations, express direct and indirect inverse variation in an algebraic term and use this form of expression to find unknown quantities. Chapter number 24, graph in practical situation. It includes draw graphs from a given data, apply the idea of rate of change to easy kinematics involving distance, time, speed, time graphs, acceleration and deceleration. Interpret and use of graphs in practical situation includes travel graphs and conversion graphs. Calculate distance traveled as area under linear time graph. Chapter number 25 includes graph of functions. It includes construct tables of values and draw graph of our functions. Interpret graphs of linear, quadratic, cubic, reciprocal and exponential functions. Solve associated equations approximately by graphical methods. Estimate gradients of curves by drawing tangents. Number 26 chapter includes function notation, the use of function notation, find inverse functions. Chapter number 27. It includes coordinate geometry to demonstrate familiarity with Cartesian coordinates in two dimensions. Find the gradients of a straight line. Calculate the gradient of a straight line from the coordinates of 2 points on it. Calculate the length and the coordinates of the midpoint of the line segment from the coordinates of its endpoints. It also includes interpret and obtain the equation of a straight line of a graph in the form of y is equals to mx plus c. Determine the equation of straight line parallel to a given line. Find the gradient of a parallel and perpendicular lines as well. The theme or topic number 28. It includes geometrical terms. The use and interpret of geometrical terms: point, line, plane, parallel, perpendicular, bearing, right angle, acute, obtuse, and reflex angles, interior and exterior angles as well. The use of interpret vocabulary of triangles, special quadrilaterals, circles, polygons, and simple solid figures. Understand the use of terms center, radius, chord, diameter, circumference, tangent, arc, sector, and segment. Chapter number 29. Geometrical constructions. Measure lines and angles. Construct a triangle given a three-side using a ruler and a pair of compass only. Construct other simple geometrical figures from given data using a ruler and a protractor as necessary. Construct a line bisector, an angle bisector, and compass by the use of compass. Read and make a scale drawing. Chapter number 30 includes similarity and congruence. Calculate the length of similar figures, solve problems and give simple explanations involving similarity and congruence, and the relationship between areas of similar triangles and their correspondence as well. Chapter number 31, which includes symmetry. Recognize rotational and aligned symmetry. Recognize symmetry properties of the prism and the pyramid. Use of the following symmetry properties of circles. Equal chords are equidistant from the center. The perpendicular bisector of a chord passes through the off-center. Tangents from an external point are equal in length. The chapter number 32 includes angles. Calculate unknown angles and give some explanation using the following geometrical properties. Angles at a point on a straight line and intersecting straight lines, angle formed within parallel lines, angle properties of triangle and quadrilaterals, angle properties of regular and irregular polygons, angle in a semicircle, angle between tangent and radius of a circle, angle at the center of a circle is twice the angle of the circumference, angles in the same segments are equal, angle in opposite segments are supplementary. Chapter number 33, that is locus or the loci. The use of following loci and the methods of intersecting loci for sets of points in two dimensions which are at a given distance from a given point, B, at a given distance from a given straight line, number C, equidistance from two given points, number D, equidistance from two given intersecting straight lines. Chapter number 34 includes measures. Use current units of mass, length, area, volume, and capacity in practical situations and express quantities in terms of larger or smaller units. Chapter number 35 includes mensuration. The parameters and the area of rectangle and triangle, the parameter and area of parallelogram and a trapezium, the circumference and area of a circle, arc length and sector areas, the surface area of volume of a cuboid, cylinder, prism, sphere, pyramid, and cone, the area and volumes of compound shapes. Chapter number 36 includes trigonometry, having the subtopics like interpret and use of three figures bearings, Pythagoras theorem, solve trigonometrical problems in two dimensions involving angle, elevation, and depressions, extend sine and cosine functions to angles between 90 and 180 degrees, solve problems using the sine and cosine rules for any triangle and the formula of area of triangles, solve simple trigonometrical problems in three dimensions. Chapter number 37, vectors in two dimensions. In this chapter, it includes describe a translation by using a vector represented by a given vector, add and subtract vectors, multiply a vector by a scalar, calculate the magnitude of vectors, represent vectors by directed line segments. Use the sum and difference of two vectors to express given vectors in terms of two coplanar vectors. Use position vectors as well. Chapter number 37. It includes matrices. Calculate the product of a matrix and a scalar quantity. Solve problems involving calculation sum and products of two matrices and interpret the result. Calculate the determinant and the inverse of a non-singular matrix. Chapter number 39. It includes transformation. The use of the following transformation of the plane: reflection, rotation, translation, enlargement, and their combinations. Identify a given precise description of transformations connecting given figures. Describe transformations using coordinates and matrices. Number 40. Probability. Calculate the probability of a single event as either a fraction or a decimal. Understood. Relative frequency. Calculate the probability of simple combined events using possibility diagrams and tree diagrams where appropriate. Chapter number 41. Chapter number 41. It includes categorical numericals and group data, which includes collect, classify, and tabulate statistical data, read, interpret, and draw simple inference from tables and statistical diagrams. Calculate the mean, median, mode, and range for individual and discrete data and distinguish between the purposes for which they are used. Calculate an estimate of the mean for grouped and continuous data. Identify the model class from the grouped frequency distribution. Last but not the least, chapter number 42. It includes statistical diagrams. Construct and interpret bar charts, pie charts, pictograms, simple frequency distribution, frequency polygons, histograms with equal and unequal intervals, and scatter diagrams. Construct and use cumulative frequency diagram. Estimate and interpret the median, percentiles, quartiles, and interquartiles range for cumulative frequency diagrams. Calculate with frequency density. Understand what is meant by positive, negative, and zero correlation with reference to a scatter diagram. Draw a straight line of best fit by eye. Okay viewers, we are done with all the syllabus content. Now it includes the mathematical notations that are used in the chapters, the symbols, and the operations that are used in all the syllabus. It shows on your screen all about the matrices, complex numbers, vectors, etc. I hope you are understanding what we are delivering the very best to acknowledge the way the Cambridge updates its syllabus content and the assessment for the grades and the examinations. In later videos, we will be making tutorials and explanation for all the topics that we have discussed right now in the syllabus content for this mathematical Dcourse. We will be uploading all the videos for the demonstration and illustration of the chapters and themes and the topics that are included in this syllabus gradually and with respect to time. Thank you so much.